Welcome to Go Math Lesson 9.7. Today we are comparing decimals. One of the biggest things that we need to keep in mind is that we need to compare like things. When we compare fractions, like 1/3 and 2/4, we wanted to have them have a common denominator. So we listed the multiples of 3, 6, 9, 12, and the multiples of 4, 8, 12, and we saw that 12 was the first common multiple. So we changed 1/3 times something equals twelfths, and we did 2/4 times something equals twelfths, and then we did 3 times 4, so 4 times 1 is 4, and 4 times 3 is 12, so 2 times 3 is 6. So once we had now 4/12 and 6/12, it was easy to compare. Now we're going to use those same concepts when we look at comparing decimals. One way to do this is to use a place value chart. So we would just put both of the numbers that they give us in the place value chart. So we put in 0 and 26 hundredths, and 0 and 23 hundredths. Now when I say them out loud, it kind of makes sense. 26 hundredths is greater than 23 hundredths, but let's see how it plays out in the place value chart. We always start with the place with the greatest value, which is the ones place. Those are both the same. Now we look at the tenths place. Those are both the same. And now when we get to the hundredths, we see that a 6 is greater than a 3, so 26 hundredths is greater than 23 hundredths. Now when we get to a question like number 4, we fill this in and we have 1 and 15 hundredths. And here we have 1 and 3/10. And what we can do is we can fill in with a 0 here to make them the same length. So again, we start in the ones place. They're both the same. We look in the tenths place. A 3 is greater than 1, so the 3 is larger. And also I can look at this as now I have 15 hundredths and 30 hundredths. And that's kind of like saying 15 ducks and 30 ducks. The label doesn't even matter at that point. You know that 30 is greater than 15. Now when we get to these problems here where we have a traditional problem where we have the 9/10 and the 81 hundredths, I want students to rewrite them both in hundredths. So this first one we have 9/10, which we know is 90 hundredths. And then we have 81 hundredths. 90 hundredths is greater than 81 hundredths. When we look at this one, over here we have 1 and 6 hundredths, and we have 0 and 60 hundredths. And we can even look at this one as money. $1.06 is greater than $0.60. So money is also a good strategy to use with these problems. So make them the same length so that they are both in hundredths, and then compare them. Take a look at that ones place first, and then the tenths, and then the hundredths. Even saying them out loud will also help you do the comparisons. I hope that these strategies help.